Welcome to New Zealand versus Switzerland. New Zealand in black, Switzerland in white. Switzerland will be pulling from the north into the wind. Switzerland has been looking very good over the last few days. Thank you for those that are joining us from overseas. Very much appreciate your company. Those of you that are local as well. Good evening if you are from Switzerland. Good morning if you're in New Zealand. First time I'm watching the New Zealand Open team play. And Switzerland comes out with its own immediately. And unsure as to whether it's up or not. It's going back because it was close. Very close, so they call it back to the middle. Two deep cutters, creating space in the middle. And a drop in the middle as it throws it a little bit behind. They're moving it so well. Switzerland defense, now a good chance. It is going to be man. And a quick switch up between players. For unders. Switzerland not as calm in their motions, but very effective. Set into the middle. Timeout called in the first point. Yes, good call because Switzerland not having much luck going in, and a call probably from the coach just to say, you know what, let's chat about this. So in mixed news, which is what we'd like to share with you during an open game. We never actually talk about the division, or at least I don't talk about the division that we're actually dealing with.
All right, folks, we got Switzerland versus New Zealand coming up. The beer garden is open.
Apparently the beer garden isn't open. Garden is open, and we have our DJ back from the other days.
We'll be open till 11 p.m. tonight. Tonight is also hosted Trade Night as a players-only event.
Trade night tonight for trading jerseys.
Will still be accessible, don't worry.
So the news that we're looking for
DJ Brandon is in the
in
house.
mixed division.
He's bringing his big voice with his big hair.
Is the Venezuela versus Japan game. Last check, it was
for the next couple of hours.
13 or something like that. Japan and USA already through. If Venezuela wins, the next game, which will be Canada versus Venezuela, will be the upset. Sorry, not the upset. Will be the game to decide who goes through. We'll try to get. Ooh, and that's a bit of a floater. Oh, and rescued. And there was contact to the forehead. New Zealand player, and they're just taking time and a little bit of holding hands down. They came down. Irish mixed team dancing to some tunes that the DJ is playing at the beer tent. This is going to come back. Probably go down to a stall 0 count. A little bit of trouble, bobbled. Ooh, but grabbed. Centered pick call. It's an easier dump. Moving back, creating space. Not going according to plan for Switzerland. But that's a good break throw and lots of options. And Switzerland break to start the game. 1-0 their lead. And a long first point as we had a timeout. Just pulling up team rosters so we can say a few names. Pull from Switzerland is a good one. It's deep, and the zone goes back on. Puck down the sideline, and it's dropped. It was a good movement. It was a good move. It was a good cut.
Now you can hang the other one.
Go, Liam. Get on him, Liam. Heads up, Liam.
And it's a turnover. And the zone's going back on. Lots of options in the mids. They should take them. And they do. This is good. I always make that little voice do when people listen to me. Or there's a good play. Looking deep, back switching to man, but still moving as if they were against the zone. And misread. Our next scheduled game is Team USA versus Japan mixed. I don't know if I should say this, but that may not be our next game. And it is, the decision isn't up to us, actually. It's up to the coaches and captains, the teams that of the US and Japanese teams. Yes, so Huck, it's going high. Contact in the air, but just tapped forward. And Switzerland possibly break again, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the field. And it's 2-0, the New Zealand player, disgusted with himself, walking off the field without realizing what's going on. And as we said, this is about the under-23s, is learning, still in that part of that learning process on how to compose oneself and maintain focus. All right, so a confirmation from WFDF under 23 on Twitter. Venezuela versus Canada moving to field 3 at 5 p.m. That will be live streamed. That's because the the US-Japan game mixed. Both those teams are through. And so you heard it here, Venezuela, you will get your game. This means that those two games in the morning that I would have been potentially streaming from game, Field 2 are up in the air. I might need to get some rest. Might. Your operative word and keyword. So a slight change in plans, and that game very important. Winner of that game goes through. So drama going to be coming up soon on in our next matchup here on Field 3. Switzerland pulling, starting out with 2 breaks. I think they're going to bring a zone. That's my best guess right now. The zone that has been working so well for them will probably return. It's a big floaty pull. And it looks to be floating out of bounds. And it does. Only by a couple of meters. Switzerland rolling. At this point, no, it looks man. So Switzerland changing up their D. If New Zealand was planning on adjusting to it. pick. And that pick is up here, just further upfield. A little bit floaty. And catch in the end zone. But there's a call. It's going to come back. Aaron Neal had made the catch. But high stall count. Aaron Neal comes back all the way back to him. Sends it over the top to Liam, but it's run down instead by number 17, Ethan Taylor. So New Zealand make it 2-1. They keep it clean on the man. The Swiss opting not to use their zone. So it's a little bit low, slides. It's going to let the defense get on, New Zealand defense. D-line playing for the first time, it is man. Basil moves it forward. Actually back to Basil now. He hammers it, adjusting, and a brave grab. Switzerland 3, New Zealand 1. Maybe it's pronounced Basil. It's for with the hammer. So World Games started yesterday in Cali, Colombia. You could have watched the opening ceremonies live, but parts of it posted online. Shout out to all of those who are attending for Canada, USA, Great Britain, Australia, Japan, and Colombia. I think Australia's there, yes? Just going through the countries again. Canada, USA, Great Britain, Japan, Colombia, and yes, one more country in there. This will be a very important tournament for the Colombian team. There's some of their strongest players not here at this tournament. It's the zone again from Switzerland. Liam moves it to the middle to number 12. Oh, and Liam gets it back. So actually number 87 got that back in the middle, and that's Hamish Gibson. throwing for the point. So New Zealand 2. Good plays overall. So if you're looking to tune in the next game, the invite will change. We should have Alex Davis, T1000, back for the next game because it will be Team Canada versus Venezuela. And I'll also try to convince Jimmy Lippert to come in and do commentary. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to, well, we do know that the next game here will be the Venezuela versus Canada mixed game. That'll be a big one. A lot of viewers. Basil. Helming it up, but now it's moving upfield well for Switzerland. Many of the Swiss players, at least the handlers with gloves, that receiver did not have gloves. New Zealand now a chance to get the break back. And they go right into their zone. It's their default, and it creates a turn right away.
Come on, Richard, get your head in it. Get in it, Richard.
Steps around. I think that's a throw to Olivier Gauger. Switzerland maintain their break. The pressure zone. As we thought, throw from Basil. Switzerland getting a little bit amped up. Score update, mixed GB wins 13-12 against Germany. In Open, Colombia versus France. Colombia leads 4-3. Good deep hug. Oh, and it just died out. And the wind is pushing it further, so it's all floating. Switzerland defense will take over. It's a D support. I think that's number 8, David Husler. Oh, it's a bit crowded in the back. They're going to lose a few meters for that. Again, no deep options. It's moving it up steadily. Now there's one. It's not really an option. It was in line. And the disc is floating going that direction, so they can run it down. So New Zealand will get it back. Hamish moves it up. Matthew dumps it to Aaron. Aaron breaks. That's a nice look. And Hamish puts it into the end zone to Troy Stevenson. Thank you to all of those. Donating is very much appreciated. We've shot so much today, I had to go out and buy a portable hard drive because I don't want to delete anything. I have now filled up, because each game comes out to approximately 100 gigabytes of data because it's captured, it's really a screen capture setup that's done at a very high resolution for the video, and that's how I get the overlays done. So New Zealand make it 3-4. Anyways, I'm just going to have a quick chat with Jimmy to see if he wants to commentate. Jimmy?
Yeah, so I threw it to Hamish, and then Matt got the disc, and then I had mine got beat,
Go, boys, get down there, let's go, let's go! Get in there, Grill! No IR, boys.
if you have the scope, just
So Jimmy Lippert and Alex Davis will be commentating the next game. Low throw and it goes to ground. And New Zealand D in a wonderful position. Oh, and red, but pointing some issues. That cut changed direction, a blind spot, but change taken low. Looking to break. It's out. It's floaty. And with bodies everywhere, the catch by number 40 on New Zealand's side. Who is? I'm just looking that up right now. It's 40 or 48, so it's Guy Rainey or Guy Rainey, however you want to pronounce that. But Guy Rainey probably is the correct pronunciation in New Zealand. So game now tied at 4s. New Zealand, with its timeout being called. And a timeout means a rest for us. That's an arrest for me. I get to sit down. So the schedule for July 28th at World Games. Just pulling up some details. It is the 26th today, but in World Games, first game is going to be, first day is 28th. We're going to start with games of Japan versus Colombia, Canada versus Great Britain, United States versus Australia, Colombia versus Great Britain, Japan versus Australia, and the United States versus Canada. The next day will be Great Britain versus Japan, Colombia versus United States, Australia versus Canada, Japan versus US, and I'm just reading a schedule to you now. This is kind of boring. But important matches, especially for Colombia. It's a much stronger team than many will expect. But I think every country sending very strong teams, superstars, every single one of them. It is going to be the highest level of competition that we have seen since last year. Well, actually, since this week, I would say. But last year was admittedly a much higher level of play. I've unplugged it. You're welcome. Let me. For me? Yes, yes, thanks. So you'll be here shortly. All right. Coming out of the timeout. Switzerland going to be receiving. A lot of seagulls circling around, some of them on the field. They don't know the timeout is over. Come on, seagulls. I'm just going to stay with those seagulls to see. Oh, no, they noticed. I don't know if you ever snuck up on birds. It can be difficult but rewarding. There's a game I play to work on agility. And call me strange, but it's chasing grasshoppers.
Yeah, I'll be near here, unless I want to watch you play.
It's a zone from New Zealand. Oh, that's a nice hammer. And it required a good run to catch up to that throw. Switzerland moving brilliantly. Lucius hammers it across. It's a little bit blady. Oh, and then a blind throw. And I've spoken so much about that. Blake puts it back in the middle. And floated in the end zone. And Blake grabs it on a 360. And New Zealand now leading by 4. So 2 breaks in a row. What a turn of events. Switzerland had been moving it so well. They just need to look around and not focus so much on the next throw.
Hey, I just realized something. When I said final, I didn't specify top and bottom bracket. If we win this game, you're wearing the key suit tomorrow. Yeah! But you know I'm right.
Foot on the throat, New Zealand, keep pushing! Go boy, let's go!
You know I'm right. We'll talk.
It's good times. I have the best seat in the house when I'm paying attention. And a flood stack going to ISO it. Lots of pressure, needs a reset. Basil. Marco. I believe it's Marco. Oh, it looks to huck it. There's 2 defenders underneath though. And it just tapped out of his hands. And the New Zealand defender took a little smack to the face. And Switzerland showing a zone. But New Zealand Was setting up in a vertical, now switching to a horizontal, but look at this. It's an overload deep. It's picked up and moved right away. Why? Why would you do that? There's no one upfield ready. Breaking out of it now, Eric centers it or catches it. Ooh, pretty upfield movement. Lachlan, I guess. Resets it. There's a call further upfield, so there will be a reset. Things will come back a little bit. Eric Richards having a chat. He's in the middle of your screen. To the right, closest to the two Swiss defenders in the middle. Lachlan goes up. The defense collapses around him, but New Zealand rolling 6-4, celebrating quite a bit, but this isn't by any means necessarily a problem for the Swiss. We've seen them before being down and then battle back hard. They are definitely able to refocus and re-engage in the game. The US mixed team enjoying some shade. Some dust rolls off of the construction yard next to us.
35-30.
Power line being put on by Switzerland.
I've had one of those yesterday.
Man, I think I've had a couple of them. I've had 2 or 3 watching.
So
No assist, 50. Is that a Callahan?
it's at the end of the snow fence, that orange area over there. There's a gate. It looks locked, but it's not.
If you guys have a disc, we're happy to swap.
And the same cheer, which you can probably hear. When I cheer for. And there's a variety of different cheers that I've heard here at the fields. New Zealand emboldened. Head down the field. It's going to be a zone. It goes out the back into, well, just outside the beer garden. And Wheels courting quite a bit there. I mean, checked. Basil wants to hug it, does. This one's going to be contended. Oh, and taken low and easily. It dropped precipitously at the end. Wants to hug it. Being told not to. And it's just thrown a little bit wide. And out of reach. It was a good chance for New Zealand. They were in motion. So then get it a little bit, basically back at the brick mark. This gives in. As you can see, not a lot of ISO movement here. Wanted to huck it. That was probably a good time to do it. Over Basil. Sliding catch. Be considered illegal in the AFL. But this isn't Aussie rules football. This is ultimate. A little bit less contact in our sport. Another high pass. Bassel. Oh, and that's tough throw, but a good break. And Switzerland working it in the end zone. That's an important one, 6-5. Swiss coach kindly instructing his team with some gentle yellings. Some words expressed loudly so that everyone on the field can hear them, even those that are furthest down the line. The other Swiss coach giving out messages that don't have as wide a range. Comments from the U.S. mixed team overhearing that, stating that guy is terrifying. Middle. Just wondering when Ultimates became all about winning and not having fun, or have people related winning to being fun. What about the enjoyment of playing well? Hamish. Angus. Hamish. Angus. Hamish. Who's in the middle? Lots of pressure. Matthew needs a reset. Floaty one. Liam now on the sideline. They're gonna flip it up, and he does. Liam catches it in the end zone, and New Zealand extend their lead. It's 7-5, and what a different character this game has from the beginning when the Swiss went up.
My master's thesis professor wanted me.
I was in my final year of law.
I mean, I've been putting it back in since I was
Steve, Chris, glad you're back on the stream. And watching Steve's a friend of mine. Oh, I'm gonna have to do push-ups for that. And there's a pick called. But Steve's a Chris. Steve Chris is a friend from Waterloo. We were involved in the Waterloo organization of disc sports for quite a while. Got dedicated ultimate fields. We now have 7 dedicated ultimate fields. For like, as in, not just we have them, but they are not allowed to be used for any other sport in town. It doesn't compare to UPI, which is Ultimate Parks Incorporated in Ottawa, which has, I think, was it 30 fields, and they're owned for the purpose of Ultimate. Switzerland had a few spotty times, but Basil moving this disc well. Okay, we got cutting up line. He's going to continue going as Severin sends it to him, but there's a pick called.
Keep those hands active.
Severin Rees had received the disc originally, but why hasn't he gotten it now? This part I don't necessarily understand. I'll have to look at it again in post. Lots of pressure on Switzerland. Strong across the middle, but no option because they're going with the 5-2 setup. And there's going to be an injury. And he did step into that path. They were both going towards it. But going off field, number 39, Lucius Müller. Very angry and expressing his anger outwardly. I thought the Swiss were reserved. He's calling for ice. Looks like a Charlie horse that just needs a little bit of a massage. Another pick in the midfield. This needs to be kept. It is going to matter. It needs to go back. No rounds called for New Zealand. Basil sends a hammer, it's hanging. And bumped off the disc. TBSA calling for observers. You know, sometimes if you can have a civil conversation like this, things just work themselves out. If you need someone adult supervision all the time to play a game, maybe you shouldn't be playing that game. Because that's what I believe observers really are. They are adult supervision, and it indicates a problem in the system and in the education. Thrown out to the left. And caught. And Switzerland hold. That perfectly reasonable conversation on the pitch. And Swiss coach encouraging his sideline, telling them to get involved.
Oi, bogus. That was actually only injury slip. No, it wasn't. It was before that. Oh, okay. Because I didn't mind them swinging.
And Mueller's still down. Looks like a painful injury, but to the muscle. And tall pull comes down. One bounce and the defense on. Very good pull. Deep throw. Tall player underneath. Oh, he took it well. Going upfield, and New Zealand make quick work of that point. Now 8-6, we're going to be getting to half after just an hour, under an hour played, unless the Swiss mount a good comeback here, and they can.
Hey Jungs, merkt ihr, was wir hier machen? Wir schlafen ein und dann spielen oft. Das kratzt mir am Sack.
Anyhow, moving on to the next point. I just had to do some push-ups. I am, in fact, in the game of life, and I got myself there, which is probably the best way to do it. Man, straight up mark. It's very tight marking, which is what makes this difficult movement for Switzerland. Now there's some space. Vessel centers it. Really driving this forward. Olivier resets it. Oh, and that one. Bit high, required adjustment. And New Zealand driving. Casper calls a timeout.
Come on, boys!
If you joined us yesterday, late in the day, for the Austria game, thank you. Thank you for partying. So timeout taken by Casper for New Zealand. Sorry to be missing No Borders. I usually play in a tournament this upcoming weekend in Ottawa. No Borders Ultimate. It's held, there's a large number of fields. It's a great party atmosphere. It's a great ultimate atmosphere. Great number of teams from around the world.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Just waving hello to Ian. He's finished his shift, or a couple of shifts with Next Gen. He's calls himself a camera operator. I would say a camera artist. He does do photography, and it's interesting to see all the different characters that go into making a production. poutine truck south of us, and with the south wind, letting us know what we could be eating right now. I might actually get a chance to eat in the next game because we are going to be having dangerous position. That's right, I might have pulled up the wrong numbers, and I think I have. It wasn't Casper. Who caught that disc? It's now middled. Michael Barnes swings it out to the side to Thomas Frazier. And then taken in the end zone, I think by number 17, Ethan Taylor, for the point. And New Zealand, after a rough start, take a 9-6 lead into half. And as Borat would say, wow wow wooey. This is an interesting game. Switzerland has had good second half runs, and this game is far from over. Anyways, enjoy the halftime. We'll be back in about 8 minutes.
Easy boys.
And welcome to the second half of a exciting game. Between Switzerland and New Zealand. Open. Basil centers it. Tight mark. Floats it. Oh, and there's a little bit of a collision. And the New Zealand player comes out the worst. And Henry seems to be okay. There, Ethan Taylor might have taken a bit of that hit. He'll be picked up by Lachlan Robertson. And lots of pressure. Want to reset it, and it's either Richard Carr or Richard Fernando. Don't know which one goes over the top. But Switzerland fight for it, and then it gets battered back into the air, and a crazy point with bodies flying everywhere. And New Zealand break to start. It's 10-6. Had a quick word with Lucius Müller, who's on the sideline, who was taken out of the game with in a collision. It appears just to be muscle. He is sitting down in a chair and icing. And the New Zealand physio is actually helping take care of him to ensure that he gets a little bit of initial treatment. And New Zealand amped up now, very positive. They know they can run, they can play. Roll stopped. Calls for watch the long. Calls for no break. And huck options possible. Centered. Break behind. Caught. Simon. Dumps it. Basil. Pick in the middle. Will it stay? Severin Ries. He will get to keep it. I don't know why you tell him to back off on you. They've been backing. Yes, you get the in cut. And then flick huck. It's a little bit bladey. Ooh, it's floated. Oh, but taken confidently. And that's an important point by Olivier. Switzerland cheer, 10-7. The wind has picked up as well. It's a stiff breeze, as you can see. And by lucky coincidence, these two countries facing off.
Luzi, du hast nicht 24 Stunden drauf.
Italy's strong.
Das ist schon geil, aber 24
They are
Stunden ist schon geil. Es tut dir einfach mal die Nerven ab.
But look, the first 2 days, they got
Ja, du abwechselst
US,
Kompetition
they
und
flew.
Kompetition.
And Switzerland, this is a huge high pull. One of the highest I've seen. And caught, I don't know why you would risk that. Come on. Good pressure. Alex to get rid of it. Does, trying to get it to Angus. Floated out deep. And Switzerland creates the turn. Can be sent out to the side, and Switzerland break. They needed that. And as I've said before, Switzerland can never be discounted. They can go on these runs.
Go, Kia! Boy! Hey, Kia! Ja, Jungs, ist die Szene nervös! Kommt, Jungs! Hey, yeah, boys, we're running with Alex. Hey, we're running with Alex. Alle boys, du einig! Nicht jesteśmy! Nicht jesteśmy! Go here! Come on, boys! Defense! Come on! Boys, never stop die Schiebe! Richten auf, Niki! Richten auf!
There's a player wide open, and New Zealand just taking their time wandering with their head down. Could have had an easy point. Put the hammer up and tries with one-handed, and it drops out in Switzerland, create another turn. forced to the far side of the field. I guess that would be an away force. Everyone taking their time. Lulling the defense. Wants to huck it. Nobody there. And Switzerland give it right back. And this one should be hucked deep. There was a big mismatch in height. And it is. It's going to be run down. And an interesting run. New Zealand only had eyes for deep. And catch by Aaron Neal. And they hold on offense. Now the defense will go back on.
Hey, even my hammer.
Great cut. Way to pull them. Man, he didn't even know why he was through.
Get here.
Spriggs had nothing to do. Great try, Liam.
Come on, make it down, get down there. No round.
Olivier. Olivier again. Basil. Dennis Hotz. Confidently in the middle by Gregoire. Oh, but then the swing. I'm a little bit frustrated up here. I'd like a closer game. I think the Swiss are playing well. They're just having small errors that are being created by the number of passes that the New Zealand D is forcing them to throw. Deep throw, and there was hesitation when it went up. And that time wasted. Will cause the turn. So Switzerland back on offense, much deeper. It needs to be a strong cut. Gregor dumps it, Olivier, and then Basil. Another deep possibility here, but a poach off. Okay, so put it deep, and does. He needs to keep running, just keep running, and he does. Got by Simon Itman. Or Simon Itman. I think it's Simon.
Wenn der nicht vielleicht zugeworfen.
Let's go!
Schön Kompression,
Ja,
voll
dann!
anziehen, voll anziehen.
Komm mit Jungs! Ja,
And it floats out of bounds.
Jetzt holen wir sie und machen sie, hä? Jonas, Nordschäden, der Lauf die Hand rasteln, die Hand rasteln. Jetzt kann sie nicht mehr. Gar nicht.
And just looking deep. Oh, it's going to be taken easily. And New Zealand keep marching on. I should update the Swiss score first. They are at 9 and New Zealand is at 12, I believe. We'll check on that again, just waiting for confirmation. But the throw deep by number 37. The New Zealand side, Liam Haberfield. However you'd like to pronounce that. But 12-9. It's an important point. Starting to get towards an endgame situation for New Zealand. Switzerland, quite a ways to go, but only 3 points really separate these two teams. That's 1.5 errors. Switzerland need to react to this zone faster. There's a lot of players going deep. Oh, that's a good over the top. Move to the middle of Olivier. And names I know, very active players, Basil. Over the top, it's going to stay in, it's good. And Reese been playing this line. Okay. Playing on the far side, now back to Dennis Hotz. So over the top, Basil. Sorry, Olivier. Basil crashing in. Great movement from Switzerland. Dennis, lots of time. He's comfortable with it. Still no options because downfield coverage is very good. It's going to require a good break here. They're going to move it back, create the space. Marco sends it to Basil, and with 3 defenders around him, Basil pulls it down 10-12. Team Canada coaches look on as their players warm up on the sideline. This is an important match. A game to go. You can hear them as they go by the microphone, thundering by. Well, not really, but.
How much time is left of the game?
Another big, tall pull, but this one coming down quickly. Hamish. They want to put it deep. Liam does. This one is going to be under contention. Oh, and just misread by the defender slightly. Might have been popped up a bit, but Angus Hines pulls it down, and the pressure shifts back onto Switzerland. We saw, though, in the last point that Switzerland very good at moving in the zone. What can New Zealand bring? Timeout called, and we take a quick pause here in the action, but it's exciting. What adjustments will be made? Scary Swiss coach checks his watch. He's having a quiet conversation. Pumping up that his team was having earlier on. He's changed tactics, but the Swiss are lined up already. Venezuela getting up, warming up. I think that flag will make it onto the field. Like TC, this is an open and women's team with mixed players. Coming up next, Team Canada versus Venezuela. Jimmy Lippert going to be coming in to help commentate with Alex Davis. The pole. New Zealand, Potts, centers to Basil. All right, that's a deep put. Olivier underneath it. Oh, jumps in easily. And Switzerland to make short work. 13-11.
$87.35. Thanks, man.
And this is when you can start to sense a little bit of tension. This is where the underdog starts to have the advantage, unless New Zealand can pull away. If New Zealand can get this point and then a couple of breaks, that should be it. However, if New Zealand get this but don't get the next break, then Switzerland in a great position. A wide open player again, miscommunication. Floating it out, bobbled, brought down. Adam with a disc, breaks to the middle, or so Adam now, but he drops it. Looking deep. Manuel, oh, it was Basil going forward, and they're just resetting to him. He is driving it, hammer over the top, and Switzerland score with Aaron Reidel in the end zone. And like that, we're at 13-12. The action heating up. New Zealand, some nerves now. They've been leading for half the game.
Come on, Kia! Go, Kia!
They should be able to take this confidently and easily, but just some mistakes. Almost the same line going back out for New Zealand. Still about 30 to 40 minutes left in this game, minimum. And the Swiss defense put it deep. Oh, those are close ones. Liam looking deep, nothing there. This one's a bit high. Oh, well grabbed. Height advantage working out well. Foul called. Lachlan looking, gets the dump. So reset, Adam working in the middle, not able to get it. The big man, Troy, pulls it down, saying it to Adam. And it just slips out of his hands. He didn't lay out, he kind of just reached for it. It's tough, it was a tough throw to catch. Lots of speed on both of these teams. Now Switzerland. Driving back in a horizontal stack against the man, going to get the under. So with the looking. Foul called. Stopping momentum, as you can see upfield. All unders. Potts resets it after, and then Basil sends it to the middle. Aaron Riedel the reset quite often. Basel just setting up downfield options, keeping good control. Need to keep this good control. Basel looking. He's going to come up line. Fantastic movement and control by Basel. He's constantly towing. Casper resets it back. Far side of the field. Looks like Riedel coming out of the stack, wants to put it, but there's a tall man at the back, Troy. This one's high. Hot. Oh, almost gets a second shot. Adams going deep. Wants to huck it. But not. There is a call. Has a good second chance. Good effort. Actually, I think that's not Hot. It's Manuel Ruch. It's the short man. And looking, Lachlan needs an option. Adam needs the reset. Not finding anything, but he could have taken the deep option. Now we're going to see the huck. It's a floater. It's going to be under contention though. But New Zealand hold, and they're exhausted. Adam been working hard in the middle. 14-12. Close game continues. Switzerland had a lot of good chances, but a lot of movement. They needed to keep with their resets. Let your handler, your primary handler, drive the play down the field. If they can't shut him down, then don't let him get shut down. TC warming up. Venezuela warming up. Probably going to be one of our most watched broadcasts from Latin America. Venezuelans contacting us by the hundreds to have their team on the broadcast. Switzerland needs to hold. And Basel has not taken a break. He is back on. He's on O-line, D-line. This is a do or die game for them. Both teams, in fact.
Yeah. Come on, Schweiz!
Pole coming from New Zealand. It's going to land around the brick mark. Hawk centers it to Basel as expected. Marco Hotz. Olivier. Back to Basel. Dennis Hotz in the Olivier. Apologize, I'm rushing some names. Hotz driving it. Basel waiting, but there's a pick call. New Zealand stopping the deeps, poaching off. There's a deep player, but it's not happening. Basel looking. Back to him. It's going to come to Alligator. Needs to. What's going on? He's more comfortable with Basel. Hotz. Marco, Basil, lots of names here. Olivier, good low grab. Probably the most errant throw we saw earlier. This one going OB, staying OB. The wind completely died down at that point. It was strange. I had a nice gentle breeze and all of a sudden, nothing. He's coming in here, Troy marking the spot. Timeout called. It's going to be brought back in by number 27.
Someone else was like, dude, just give it to me in like 5. So I'm like, and like I said, I don't know if this stat is like, this is like the least important one on there.
I know. I don't see why anyone cares.
Just maybe if people are going to write a story about it, it 5 minutes, 2 points, 10 minutes, 1 point lasted 20 minutes. Like I said, it was in US Open, there was an assistant there. I literally almost like control the timeline. Like if you can touch it, you can catch it. Unless it's just full
That's not UK.
That was the US Open.
Will be an interesting point. Sorry, it's taken by number 37, the timeout. And that's Liam.
Yeah, we finished this point at that time. Hopefully.
Oh, you're front of stack, okay?
Showing a offset stack down the field with one player offset. The offset is Thomas Fraser.
Finish this point at 2.
Okay, so it's a game of 17 at least. So it's just a game.
Bessel giving instructions to the sideline.
Sideline, guys.
Talking about adjustments that would need to be made. Disc is in. No movement really downfield. Well covered. And a hit. And it bounces. And a fantastic D after the bounce. And Switzerland get it back. Unfortunate bounce out of the hands. The last game of power pool play coming up for Venezuela and Canada. Marco. Basil goes up, there's a strike, but no, not enough separation. Olivier. Breaks the middle. Marco. There's a break. Hazel holds it back. Eastman on the far side. Olivier. Marco. Is that hot? It goes up line, but there's a lot of defenders. There's someone poached in the end zone. Comes back out to Ittman. Sorry, being moved. Hot. A lot of action on the disc. Confident handling right now, but it's a confident handing through. Severin and Reese puts it into the end zone. And Switzerland, 13. Great movement all the way up the field.
Great fight, guys.
Yeah.
Great fight.
Golf cap, coach.
New Zealand coach telling his players, great fight, boys, great fight.
Hey, Taylor. Game to 6. Game to 6.
New Zealand offense now under pressure.
Go, Kia!
Basil pulls it. He must be the MVP of this game. He's done so much. He and his handling line have not changed. Neither have they for Switzerland, or sorry, for New Zealand. On the sideline, needs a reset. Floats it out. He's in. Liam looking upfield. He had that big grab. There's a call. Disc space. Aaron Neal, his reset. On the close side, Angus Hines. It's going up line. Oh, that was lucky. Float over the top. And taken. Number 48, Matthew Richardson. And New Zealand at 15-13. Both defenses, or offenses at the very least, pretty good. This man, number 50, taking a quick drink and heading back out. He has been out there the whole game practically, at least since they've been down. Has there been a point or a turn where we haven't mentioned his name, where he hasn't touched the disc?
Let's go, New Zealand!
This is their last game of the day. They can put everything on the line. They can put every player, and they can run them because then they have a few hours, half a day to recharge. Blady throw. Pole comes down. Hotz sends it to that man, Basil. Marco. Certain combinations, they're constantly. Reset to Hotz. And a little bit of a travel. And it's called. Hotz, good speed. Slipping now a little bit. This field's starting to get chewed up from all the amazing games that we've had here. Going deep. Olivier. No mark. Sends it deep. Hotz is going. It's floating. But he read it better. And the defense of New Zealand unable to stop Switzerland and the small man. Gets it just in the end zone. If you're waiting for, that's coming up soon, the game between Venezuela and Canada, mixed, that'll be up next. Probably a great following Venezuela, that game. Thank you for tuning in. There's a timeout. Switzerland and New Zealand. Rumi Tejpar deciding to suit up. Rumi, you feeling okay? Rumi Tejpar was feeling so-so. He was one of the stars. He's not going to be playing this game, which is not that big a loss to the Canadian side. His just having a little bit of a laugh up here with some of the players on the Canadian side. Rumi, one of the key handlers. You'll see him. He's a slim young man. But had been getting some big grabs in that Canada-USA mixed game. And Switzerland within 1 point of putting some real pressure on New Zealand. One break away from changing the character of this game substantially. And you can see how important, or hear how important it is, with roars from the sideline. One bounce picked up. Keeper up line, it's a floater. Got a piece and a touch. It wasn't a good reset. Marco. Then the Basil swings it. This is important. A little bit late. And it's just at the fingertips. And the throw was late, which meant it had to be hard. But the cut was in somewhat of a blind spot. But the pressure Switzerland put on paid off. Troy centers it. again. Resets it. Needs to move it forward. Does. Oh, that was a good throw. Floater under pressure. And tapped off. No call. Actually, there is a call. There's a conversation. It was on his arm. New Zealand supporters in the stands. Clapping. There's going to be a call soon. It's been about 30 seconds. Adam on the right of your screen, and it's number 48 who's calling the contact in the air, Matthew Richardson. Looked like there might have been something. Not quite sure what. And it's going to go back. Calls to clear the sideline. Back in play, reset. Troy. Behind. Liam. Troy Stevenson with the disc again. Oh, puts a floater up. Oh, goes over and pulls it down. There's a little bit of exhaustion on that one. And the score for New Zealand makes it 16. And that looks to be game on time. Tough match. Tough match. Congrats to New Zealand on that one. It was a very close game, but your final score 16-14 for New Zealand. Switzerland playing well, had opportunities. Man of the match, it's got to be Basil. He really helmed that all the way, and if they kept going back to him, it might have worked out a little bit better. But anyhow, we've got to go set up for our next broadcast. You know, TC's on this side, but I know you at home, you don't really want to see that. You want to see this. And that's why we're going to turn the camera and leave it there. Okay, coming back soon in about 10 minutes will be Alex Davis. And if I can find him, Kyle Lippert.
But then the